Good afternoon. Welcome to the live lecture for week 1 of Design Foundations. It's July 14th, 2014. This will be a little overview for the week of what you can expect coming up. In week 1, we talk a lot about the basics of what all a designer or a design team is responsible for and the knowledge that they need that helps them accomplish these tasks. Now, we'll go in depth in some areas, but then your entire program is the journey and the progression of learning more and more and more in depth about all of the knowledge that you need for accomplishing the tasks as a designer. Here we go. Understanding that role as a designer, you have to realize that a designer is more than just somebody who draws a picture of a pretty dress or a beautiful suit or something. So yes, the designer is an artist, but that artist works more than just in a two-dimensional form as far as sketching. They need to understand their textiles and how that correlates to a body, so they need to understand the physique of a human form. In that sense, the designer is also an engineer. They need to understand the analytical side or the mathematical side and logical side of their mind and not just live in the creative side. And that comes in the area of pattern making. You'll have several classes that address that. The designer is a psychologist or a sociologist. Now, this isn't an area you normally think of a designer needing to have had some understanding in, but it is a key element of being successful as a designer. You really have to understand how to read individuals and people or a market segment together or collectively. This class will touch base a lot more in depth on this, as well as you'll have another class that even talks about it more in the sense of true purchasing choices that people make. A designer is a manager of tasks, a manager of time, a manager of people, all in areas of trying to get all these tasks done, spread out over many, many different aspects, timelines, and deadlines that are needing to be met. The designer is a salesman. They may not ultimately be seeing the public and selling directly to the public, although there are some that will do that. The designer has to be a salesman even within their company. They need to get other people to accept or buy into their concepts and help it come to fruition. The designer is a business person. They do need to understand the balance of business. I mean, that's what you're here for, to make money, make a living. And so they do have to be business savvy and understand trends going on, not just in the choices of clothing that people make, but the effects of things happening globally that affect how and why we make choices, how and what resources are available to us. And the designer is a showman or showwoman. They have to sell their line, but they also have to sell an image, whether it be personally that they do or what they direct that gets shown socially and media-wise as well. These are just a few of the aspects. There's quite a few others, but this is a good overview, like I said, a good basics of it all. Now then, your textbook for this week is Design Basics. You should have received this with your stack of textbooks. We are actually going to be jumping around, and please disregard at the bottom of this slide here as far as the chapters. We're not going to go in direct order of the chapters in this book. I have rearranged those per the different units that we cover each week. So please refer to My Course Connection for the actual chapter references per each topic that we're covering. Now, big thing to make note of is the assignments that are due this week. When you first log on to My Course Connection, I try to list all of these up at the very top of the page, but yet sometimes they may be inserted in with your different unit topics for the week. It really just depends on where they best fit to stay collectively with the other material that goes to support it. Now then, the assignments are you fashion material? There's no right or wrong answer to this. There is no right or wrong way of how it says you will be or won't be. It lets you do a personal assessment of your skills, what you find you have strengths in, what you may not have the strongest strengths in, but that you might want to work on to be well balanced. And in other senses, just gives you a rating of where you are. It also helps you kind of determine in this huge industry different things that you can choose to go into and work in. You know, what aspects of it actually do fit your natural skill set. What does a designer do? This one too, you will just do some reading up in the assignments links on the page. I think there are some slideshows as well that go through and give you an overview of the different tasks and job sections within the design department. Personal sources of inspiration. That is really just for you and how do you perceive your environment and your world. Then, again, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer to those. You just do need to do them. Now then, the activities, 4.5, 5.1, and 5.3 actually come from the textbook. On My Course Connection, it will reference the page number you go to. But you will notice that each of the first number here, 4, that would refer to the chapter that it's in. So it'll be in chapter 4. Along the different activities, it'll be the 5th one. And then activity 5.1, 5.3 are in chapter 5. And it's just the topic of what is being discussed in those chapters. So all the activities are centered around what you're reading in those sections. Then our design elements and principles. Again, there will be reading in the textbook for those. There's actual full chapters for them. I won't have you be doing any activities from the textbook for those. I do have some slideshows as well on My Course Connection. But what we do have in connection with that is a what's called a wiki, and that's just a term used on My Course Connection. But it's a place where you will be able to upload pictures. In each one of these that gets discussed, you will be providing 3 picture examples of that particular element or that particular principle. And then you have to write a little description. Why did you pick that picture for that element? Let's say you chose the element shape. Well, why did you pick the shape? Well, the shapes are very strong in this garment because I can see very bold triangles or very bold circle shapes in the print that's repeated. There's going to be different ways. There are some examples on My Course Connection, give you an idea of what it is I'm looking for. And those will be the 2 major ones this week that you're uploading those into. You do have until Saturday to have those complete. Each week, you do have to take part in a forum discussion on My Course Connection. I do ask that gets done before Friday because that way I put in your attendance. Yes, you're logging on. Yes, you're attending to your work. And that way it tracks with your school, your satisfactory progress. It does affect any of your financial aid and things like that, but they need to see that you are weekly attending to the class. Your inspiration book. This class is more heavy in this than any other class because as the designer, we take this topic here of looking at sources of inspiration and trying to find out where do designers get their ideas from. So I want you to start breaking through that barrier maybe in your mind, and some folks have some folks don't have a barrier to it, but that you start looking around you, see what it is that sparks a creative thought in your mind that then leads into you coming up with a design. There is a description of what I'm looking for on My Course Connection for that, 5 sources of inspiration. They could be a picture from a magazine, they could be lyrics from a poem or song. You can even put a link in there to a video of the song, maybe a quote from any kind of book or person that might be there. If you have an earring that's lost its mate and you keep looking at it, you can't throw the one away, you just can, you know, maybe that comes up for a idea for a new dress that might come with that. And yes, if you've been to places around the world, experiences that you've had before, those can totally be inspiration sources. In fact, sometimes the best, because they will be the strongest. You were there, you lived them. And then so with each source, I want to see what did it inspire. Okay, and those are done just in your inspiration book. It's the black bound hardback kind of sketchbook, nice one that you got. Go ahead and do those in there, and then with your iPad, snap a picture and upload it. Although I will tell you right now, My Course Connection is experiencing some problems with the uploading capabilities. That happened just last week with the new update. They are working on it. We're constantly, every hour, asking them, what's, you know, is it working, is it working, is it working? So far it isn't, but thank God we have until Saturday to get these done. So you can still begin to, you know, read over your different sections here and start saving some pictures on your iPad that once this is up and running again, you can just upload those for your different assignments. And then on Thursday, there will be a quiz as usual. And I'm sorry, I said Thursday. That's an on-ground thing. Your quiz, actually, I open it on Friday and try and keep it open through Saturday so that we have a nice big window, because everybody's on different schedules, that you can get that done. And please, if you have any problems or can't get it opened during the window it's open, let me know so then I can open it in a time when I know that you're available to get online. And that way we don't get too far behind on things, and we can get those going. All right, and so those are the major assignments this week. Each week we'll have different ones that focus on the different topics for that week. I do have those this week. I will be assigning some projects, but not everything's due until either the third week, or in one case there's something due the second week. Your wikis, those are the assembly of pictures as examples for things that you're learning for that topic. So even though I call them major projects, each week you have something due in one of them, or in this week too. They, on My Course Connection, the little icon kind of looks like little gray strands being woven together, and that is the wiki there. On the course information page, I have a little video tutorial of how do you go about adding things to the wiki. It allows you to create separate pages in the wiki so that each page is focused on the one topic for that element or that principle. And you'll have 5 elements and 5 different principles, so basically you're creating 5 different pages in that. Once you've gone through uploading things in at once, it's pretty easy. With the little icon buttons at the top, you'll be able to do it. But like I said, on the course information page is where there's a tutorial for that. Our customer profile and a mini line. When we talk about or have the section on the target customer that is in week 1, we start trying to think like a designer. Who is this I'm designing for? Who's going to be out there walking around in stores wanting to buy my clothes? Who's it going to appeal to? So you have to imagine who that person is. And then you have to define them. And that customer profile will actually be something that you upload on week 2. After you've done the reading, you'll kind of understand what they're talking about, demographics, psychographics, and things like that. So it does have just a little worksheet. You just fill out specifically what those are, you know, what the income level is, what kind of profession, what kind of lifestyle, what kind of hobbies, different things like that. And then, based on that person you're imagining, you're going to create a little mini line. And it's minimum of 3 pieces. You can do up to 5. creating outfits and looks that are going to appeal to that person, as well as they kind of all need to congeal and go together as if you might mix and match them even within their pieces in that line. And then we do have another research paper and a slideshow. You get to pick your favorite designer. They don't even have to be a super, popular, well-known designer. They can be more history-based. I've had some students before that have had actually a family member that does some wonderful custom type designing special occasion dresses, and she did a great report on her. She got to sit down and interview her basically for the paper. There wasn't a lot of online or other resources and interviews other people had conducted. So in that case, I was able to sort of allow her not to have to worry about the bibliography when you research actual information, but she was able to go directly to a source, which in many cases could give you such a greater insight. So a list of designers. Yes, we can definitely get something for you to look at. I'm sure I've either got one in that book. Your history textbook has a great list in the back of it. It's pages long. Of course, those will go back in time. Another great source is pick up a fashion magazine and even look through the smaller, shorter articles about up-and-coming designers. Those are good places to look too. Okay, I believe that is the last of my slides here, and that kind of gives you the overview of the week. I would say my biggest concern right now is just your ability to be able to upload things on My Course Connection. Although it's Monday, you have until Saturday, so I am sure they're going to get that stuff worked out. Let's see. Question here about local designers, and like to interview them. That's a great one. There are a few boutiques that I'm aware of downtown. Ioana, are you in Tulsa or Oklahoma City? Give her a second to respond here. You're in the Tulsa area. Okay. Down in the Brady District area, I know there's a little place called Butterfly Boutique. That is one I know that likes to feature some local designers. I could even let you know some names of some of our former students if you'd like, and that's a good place. Some of them are already out there working, doing some custom work. Calling up maybe some of the theater companies around is a good place that, they've got designers that work on costumes for shows and stuff too. So I will, Ioana, I'll email a few of those to you. I'd like to check with them first that they're, cool and comfortable with doing an interview. I think they would be flattered. I think it'd be really fun. Cool. Thank you. Then I'm just trying to think other resources, because honestly Tulsa and even Oklahoma City have a great little community of designers. There's actually there's some different shows coming up that or competitions coming up that designers will be showing at. One of them is called the Center of the Universe concert, and I want to say that's in 2 weeks, next weekend. And there's a design competition going on there. It's being hosted by Abelina's Dress Couture, and they will be displaying the garments there. The location for Center of the Universe, again, is down like in the Brady District area or the Blue Dome District, I think. If you just look on either Facebook or around Tulsa kind of connections, that would be one. Or even call Abelina's. They are located in the Farm Shopping Center. What else? You could do searches even on the internet, take a look, or on Facebook. Any of the small boutiques, Mustache is over on Brookside, might have some ideas. A lot of times smaller boutiques are open to showing some of the pieces or carrying a couple pieces of some local designers. More and more definitely are getting that way as they find that the customers out there are curious about it. They want to find those one-of-a-kind sort of items as well. Okay, well, if you don't mind, I think that's about it. Unless you have any other questions, I do need to wrap it up and get ready for another lecture this afternoon. I'm very excited that we've got some students that are already moving into their phase 2. So our online program is moving right along. You've had a couple classes too, and so I'm very excited for all of you, and I think that's it. Don't have any more questions, but if you do, please email me. No problem. I will get back to you with hopefully the answers you're looking for. Well, enjoy this new class, and we will be seeing you all soon, or talking to you soon. All right. Thank you. Okay.